Hello and welcome to Won't Be Forgetting That, a podcast talking about all the most awkward and embarrassing moments of people working in the arts and entertainment industry. I'm your podcast host, Seb Muirhead, and today we have a guest. They are a director, an editor, a comedy writer, Liam Fitzgibbon.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you for having me on the show.
No, I'm thanking you, mate. I'm thanking you because without this show, it's not possible. Without you, this show is not possible. We'll edit that out in post.
This show is not possible.
This show is not possible, and I'm quitting now. This is actually just me saying that I'm giving the show to Liam. So Liam's going to be interviewing me today.
Hi, welcome everyone.
Yes,
this is my new show, the soft launch.
What would you like to talk about?
Yeah.
This is my intellectual property, so you're going to have to change it, but you can have my 10 followers if you want.
Oh, okay, that's very kind. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, mate. No, but thank you, genuinely thank you for doing this. A little bit of a peek behind the curtain, and I know I need to find a new phrase for that, so please don't DM me. You were one of the first people I wrote down in my notes that I wanted on this podcast.
Oh, okay.
You do such great work.
Thank you.
This is me trying to butter up Liam so he lets slip all of his dirty, dark secrets later on.
Yeah.
But you genuinely do some absolutely fantastic comedy writing and directing. So I was
thanks.
like, this is perfect. I don't want to just get all these weird performers on. I want to get people on from behind the camera. And I know you're a little bit nervous coming on, and it's quite all right. I am not going to throw you under the bus. If anyone wants to know any of the stuff I've cut out, just DM me. I'm more than happy to do it for a cheeky couple of dollars. But yeah.
I'll do it for even less.
Oh, fuck. All right, I'll do it for free. I'll pay you. Just DM me, please.
Yeah.
I'm lonely.
Someone send me a message.
Yeah. But genuinely thank you for coming on as well. And I think you're maybe the most nervous guest I've had on so far, which I wanted to say on
it's an honor.
mic. So I make you more nervous so you can really let slip everything.
Yeah, no, that's a good strategy to have, I think.
So who have you hated working with the most in the Melbourne industry? We'll tag
where do I begin?
Tell me about it, mate. Jesus. I don't have to just do Melbourne industry. I'm happy to do all of Australia.
Yeah.
Some of the American industry and Scottish industry I've worked for as well. DM me again. A couple of dollars, I can tell you who I hate. She was a terrible
As long
person.
as you send that couple of dollars, you can get whatever you want.
Genuinely, just if you see me in the street, $1, do you?
Yeah. It's very true. I feel like listening back to the podcast is kind of going through all of it and being like, oh, okay, all these people are also performers or comedians, which I'm like, oh god, get ready for the most boring hour of podcasting of your life.
Don't sell yourself so bloody short, mate. This is gonna be fucking fantastic. And if you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
how about
yeah,
that?
exactly.
Yeah. Still rate review. Still rate and review.
Yeah, still leave a nice review. Yeah.
Apparently I'm drunk today. I can't talk.
Yeah. We had a few before we started.
Yeah, I did. When in Rome, as they say. Brunswick, that is. Again, if you want any... should I have said that? Do you want... I can give out your actual address as well, if you like.
I'll just fully dox me? Yeah.
Again, after the show, message me. I'll let you know.
The same price as before.
Yeah, $1.
Yeah, $1.
throw $1 at me in the street. But you're from the background of a lot of comedy directing and writing, I'd say, which I feel like a lot more sort of awkward and embarrassing stuff comes from comedy because you're really trying to put yourself out there, especially with like the newer age comedy where it is quite... farcical is not the right word because I'm not very smart and can't think of the right word just now, but like over the top kind of so making really big, as they say in the business, offers.
Yeah.
Do you find a lot of people are throwing out stuff there which you're like, you have to then try and manage, or are you giving people offers in the moment? So an offer, essentially, for anyone that doesn't know as well, is pretty much just you make a suggestion of something people can do in the moment whilst the camera's rolling. You ever look at like bloopers from Judd Apatow movies? They're always giving offers. So it's like improv-y kind of stuff. Have you ever given anyone some really bad offers before?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm like 100% sure. I feel like when I get to the edit room and I look back and I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, what was I even thinking there?
Are you happy it's not you on camera saying it as well?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry I put you through that.
Yeah, I've had a couple of times when it's happened like that, and I'm like, oh, this is me saying this, and I don't feel comfortable, but there's like 20 people standing staring at me and the camera's rolling, and I don't want to be one of those people.
I mean, I've also had it happen a bunch of times because it's not the most efficient way to make content, but sometimes I like to get like several different versions of the same line, like, if I'm doing it with like Pat and Nonna, for instance, from like Hot Department, and we're making I remember we did this for one of our I think we were trying to pitch something a little while ago, and I'd just be like, okay, this one you're really happy, this one you're crazy and screaming, this one you're really sad. Like,
See, I find that works really nicely for comedy because it's
Yeah.
like it's all over the place. Sometimes I've had that with like emotional stuff, and they're like, "I want you to think that that's your dad," and you scream at him, and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Okay."
you're like, I'm in Safeway. This is a cashier.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not even on camera. Just
Yeah, I'm at home. What time is this?
Stop it. Yeah, I'm like, it's always that kind of thing where you do it, and I don't know whether I've got it wrong as well, or the director's been like, yeah, that's not worked. But
Honestly, I think a lot of the time, maybe this is really too much about myself. I think a lot of the time it's the director.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Being like, hey, that was a bad idea.
Because there's always the disappointment on their face afterwards of just being like, okay, moving on.
Yeah, well, that actually reminds me. I feel like it wasn't one of the original stories I'd written down, but
Please, this always happens though.
Yeah.
Segues into finding traumatic experiences from the past that come up.
Exactly. This was on my graduating movie from when I was at uni, and
Do we want to name the uni? Name and shame?
we can name the uni.
yeah.
We can name it was VCA.
VCA is actually very good. If they want to sponsor this podcast, I'm more than
Yeah.
welcome. But yeah,
Use my promo code for $10 off enrollment.
yes, that's only what, 60
Yeah.
grand minus $10? Yeah, perfect.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so at this point, I think the year before, so second year is when I mainly started getting into comedy more.
Oh, nice.
But then third year, I was like, oh, this is serious. This is a big one, so I got to do
This
something
comedy
like.
is serious? Is that?
Oh no, this one wasn't a comedy at all. I was like, I'm going to do a psychological horror film.
I love that. And like, absolutely no offense to students as well, or to yourself.
Yeah.
But my God, students love to set themselves up for, I don't want to say failure, but they really bite off a bit more than they can chew with a lot of the very
Absolutely.
serious stuff.
Absolutely. And it's that classic thing of like, you want to impress people. So you're like, I'm going to fit 8 feature films worth of material into 15 minutes.
Yeah. And it's also just some of the most like difficult character development or things to portray on film in 5 minutes. And you're like, I don't really know what a psychopath's like, but this person's a psychopath. It's always a psychopath.
Yeah,
It's always a psychopath. But yeah, sorry, I interrupted you there. This is me just
Oh no, that's okay. I'm the
bringing
king
up
of
my past
tangents.
traumas of student
Yeah.
films. But yeah, what was the film about?
So it was about a gay couple who it's kind of it barely makes sense as a story. It's about this gay
Sounds like a
couple.
student film, yep.
Yeah. These two women, and one of their homophobic parents, like the mother, comes to visit, and she brings a big statue with her as a present, and the statue kind of comes to life, and it's the classic, like, internalized self-loathing. Although I feel like I was still mostly in the closet at this point, so I was kind of like
A lot of putting yourself on film as a form of therapy.
oh yeah, but not really enough in the end. I feel like it just ended up being nothing, and I was like, oh, that was kind of I don't know why I did it, but but I had a great crew for it, and I really loved the 3 actors I got for it, and yeah, it was one of those things of just in the moment we were filming, the fight scene between the hero and the guy all done up in the demon sort of ghost makeup or whatever.
Wow. There's always a demon or a ghost in a short film as well.
This was like every cliche. And at one point the demon guy's kind of meant to be over, like, having pushed her to the ground or whatever, and is about to kind of, I guess, go in for like the kill or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember what movie I'd just seen before, but it has it might have been The Conjuring, actually. The classic thing of like this, like vomiting blood out.
Oh yeah.
And so this wasn't planned before, but then I I started talking to the actor. I was like, hey, is this crazy, Bill? Like, what about if we get the stunt guy to like throw up a bunch of stuff on you?
What?
And she was like, oh yeah, great. That's like that'll be like good fun or whatever. So it's like, yeah, let's do it. And then we did it. And the makeup artist was mixing together like, so it's impromptu vomit. So mixing together like,
Oh, so not even like blood, just like fake vomit.
Yeah.
Oh God, that stuff's never pleasant.
yeah, so mixing together like old bread and like milk and all this random stuff.
Chicken soup's always a big one as well. You chuck that into
The chicken
vomit.
soup, or the pea soup, like
The pea
Exorcist
soup,
style, yeah. And yeah, so then we did it, and the stunt guy vomited on the actress. And she was a very good sport about it, but I feel like I was just watching it from the monitor and I was like, oh, I feel like I really went too far with that.
Was it like just so like for people that don't know, the kind of two main ways vomit works on film is usually it's shot from the side and like a tube coming off and somebody's down like or pumping fake vomit through this tube, but it's kind of lined up so it looks like fake, or so it looks like vomit, but it's not in anybody's mouth, or it's CG nowadays. That's usually the two ways. Yeah. Was this vomit from a mouth?
This vomit was from a mouth.
Oh no!
But yeah, I feel like the actor ended up, she was fine with it. She's like, oh yeah, I reckon that'll look really cool. And I was like, I just felt too bad watching it back now that I put you through that.
Did it make it into the final cut of the film?
No.
Oh my god!
So because it was too much. It was out of step with the rest of it. In the moment, I was like, yeah, let's go for it. It's going to be so scary. And we were all like, yeah, fuck yeah, great. And then I did it, watched it back. I'm like, no, this is very out of place.
Look, as an actor myself, that's probably one of the least bad bodily fluids to get on you during a shoot. But
I feel like that's a segue to a story in of itself.
Again, you're gonna have to pay me a couple of dollars to hear those stories.
Ugh.
But no,
I'm gonna be broke by the end of this.
Yeah, unless it's anything in water. I don't know. I should say this, but you always pee in the water when you're filming in water. I want to get
really?
Okay,
yeah.
Bathroom. Yeah,
that makes sense. You know,
right?
It's like at the beach, we go stand off by yourself for a while.
Paddling pool or whatever, yeah.
A paddling pool.
All that kind of stuff, even if you're not in it. But I've yet to have any other bodily fluids put on me. But that's also not an invitation.
Yeah. But after the show.
Yeah, again, a couple of dollars, we'll see how I'm going. But usually it's not like coming from a person's mouth. And I think like the other big thing as well is like if it's something that fucked up, or also coming from a stunt background myself, so if it's like a stunt where you really get hurt in it, you put that into the end product or into the film. So this poor actor, she was just vomited on for no reason, and
essentially yeah
I feel like that's not so much embarrassing but admitting to a crime. If you want to make a public apology to this poor young lady,
I really should. No,
do you still have any of the raw footage of that as well?
Oh, I don't know if I do actually. Maybe there's somewhere, but
we can post that onto Instagram later on.
I think that's why it was. I think that's why I felt comfortable going for it. I guess because obviously I'm very big on making sure everyone is, feeling comfortable with what we're doing. And sometimes on sketch absolutely. It goes to some pretty,
weird places.
Yeah, like
sure. Huh?
Yeah. So definitely made sure, and that was, something that was so great about that cast is that they were all very much like, yeah, let's push this and try this and blah, blah, blah. It was more sort of from my own perspective afterwards. I was like, yeah, I think I maybe overshot that one.
Yeah. Again, it's something you need to try. And I feel like this is good for like talking about sketch comedy as well. Cause like you make offers, again, to come back to making offers and stuff like that. Whereas like, wherein you made the offer of vomiting. And you're like, okay, this might not work in the time, but everybody was happy to do it.
Yeah,
and you're like, okay, it didn't work. And in hindsight, this is pretty awful. But again, all consensual and safe and stuff like that. And you had the proper conversations with people. And then in sketch, sometimes you're like, I'm playing a really horrible character. I'm going to say this. And then sometimes you say it and you're like, oh no, that's the character. It's not me. Oh, I don't feel comfortable anymore. I'm so sorry. We've had past guests of the show, Jackson Tozer has mentioned saying that as well. Just like saying an inappropriate thing for a person to say, but what the character might have said, but didn't go over so well on set. Do you find that?
Oh, really? Yeah.
And again, it's a weird line. Yeah. You don't want to make people in real life feel uncomfortable, but like if the character's making the other characters feel uncomfortable, it might be an okay thing. Do you find that you've had any of that with any of the sketch? Because you've done a fair whack of sketch comedy, directing and writing and editing yourself. You found anyone's really crossed the line at all? If nothing's coming to mind, that's probably a good thing as well. I have to say.
Nothing's immediately coming to mind. I feel like if there had been, I would have been more like, oh god, yeah, like the.
If that does ever happen, do you feel like you'd handle it in like, okay, we understand that you didn't mean it like that, or just like blacklist that person, get out of here?
Oh no.
It depends how much you like them in real life.
Yeah. I mean, also it depends what they're saying. I think
that's also very true. Actually,
you can only hide so much under the guise of it being sketch comedy.
I've actually been working on this character for 12 years now, and yeah, you've been watching like a lot of really problematic YouTube videos for it.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's my character, so you know.
Yeah, you're like, well, you're a school teacher. No.
Yeah, my character has warrants out for their arrest, but you know.
Yeah, your character's an extra. They don't even have lines.
No, I don't think that's ever like really been an issue, to be honest. I feel like a big part of what I like to do on sets is definitely sort of get cast and crews together that are people that I know have worked with before, and I know they're like great at what they do, good quality, all on the same
human
page.
beings to work with. Yeah, that's nice to hear.
Especially, I think, with comedy and sort of alternative comedy, it's good to make sure the people you're getting are on the same sort of alternative comedy page.
Yeah, right.
Just because there's obviously so many different, subgenres and blah, blah, blah. And that can kind of also, I find, sometimes lead to a bit of a clash if you're kind of having a few different performers with a few different styles of comedy background. So I think sort of trying to work out that sort of thing beforehand.
Got a bit of a vetting and a screening process to
a
make
little
sure
bit,
that, anyone that's coming in and being like, hey, so gonna paint my face a different color.
Yeah.
Chris Lilly, we didn't hire you for that.
Chris Lilly, what are you doing here?
Yeah, come on, we just want you to dress up like a schoolgirl, okay? But a white one.
A white one.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that is good. That's nice in that respect. And I suppose if you've been doing it for a little while as well, you presumably do know a lot of the people, especially in like the Melbourne scene. We're down in Melbourne just now, so you have your idea of what they're like, or if they've been brought in from a friend or anything like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like very lucky that a lot of my friends are in the industry as well, I guess. So it's, I like to, I have my certain sort of groups of people I like to work with usually. Pretty much just if someone's nice. If they're nice, if they're good value on set, they're not going to be an asshole. Like, I don't have a particularly high vetting process. You have to be 5'10".
Yeah, and nice. Yeah. But it is genuinely crazy how far just being nice. I mean, obviously be funny and a good actor or like a good camera person or artist.
Absolutely.
But like being nice can get you really fucking far.
Yeah. Especially
in like the indie scene, quote unquote. Like if you're an arsehole, man, people just don't want to work with you.
Well, that's the thing. And I feel like I feel like I would always much prefer to opt for someone who's got a good attitude, just really happy to go for it, put the time in, rather than some like industry vet who's kind of, a bit of a jaded so-and-so.
No, please name names. Yeah. Again, who are we trying to blacklist here?
Yeah, no.
But yeah, I'm exactly the same, Like if you don't have to be the fucking best of the best, but if you're just a nice person to sit and have a conversation with over lunch, man, I'm more than happy to work with you again. Not that I ever have any saying power in anything. But I usually try and be that person myself as well.
Well, I feel like passion sort of, that counts for a lot as well. If you can see, oh, you're real, even if you don't technically know everything about how a set works, I can be like, oh, you're really into this, you're really committed to this and passionate about this, then I think you usually can get really great work out of...
people are happy to be there. Sometimes you do, and it's not often, I have to say, especially at my level, you get people that are like, oh, filming again.
I know,
boy.
Like you could do something else.
I know, you're like, for you, people are bringing you coffees, feeding you for free, and you just have to sit down in nice clothes that you don't own and say a few lines. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. But
although usually the nice clothes you don't own, I usually feel like it's I feel like I've had a pretty good run of actors that are
stealing their costume? Is that what we're going to say?
I kind of lost the mental train of thought there. I feel like I've had a pretty good run with actors being really on board for it, really into it. I feel like.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's good.
Some of the dodgies have been more the, behind the scenes. Even then, not too many.
Yeah. But again, name names. So no.
Oh, yeah. Zeb Muirhead was a big one.
Fuck. I fucking knew it. I'm deleting this entire podcast.
Actually, that was my...
Oh, yeah?
That's where we met, was on my friend Key Belling, who's a very talented filmmaker's short action film, and you were in it as doing stunt performing and that. And I think at one point I hit you in the head with the camera.
Possibly. I probably hit myself in the head with the camera as well. A little.
Well, that's what it says on the insurance form anyway.
Yeah. What insurance? No, I'm joking.
Well, honestly,
yeah. A very fun shoot though, admittedly. Beautiful location as well. That was sick.
Oh yeah, it's great.
But yeah, this is like, again, stunt performers. You kind of have to train a lot not to hit the camera.
Yeah, that's
It's a really funny thing because like we genuinely do at training rolls and like stopping just before a mark, so you're like stop just before the camera here and stuff like that, because I've hit the camera a couple of times before, mostly just acting, and I'm like, that thing is worth so much more than I am.
Oh, it's so the
scared.
worst. It's the worst.
And everyone's tiptoeing around it, especially if it's a really fancy production. And I know like everyone does have insurance. That was a joke before. Liam has asked me to say that before, but
Disclaimer, please.
Yeah, but like genuinely, they're all insured. But I was like, I never want to be the person that breaks like a 30.
I know,
camera.
Like, oh, that was me, my bad.
Whoopsies, we're gonna have to stop for the day, and that's gonna cost even more money.
I know, but it's one of those things. I feel like you guys were. I think that was also the. I ended up DOPing that as like a last minute replacement, I think.
Yeah.
His DOP dropped out like the day before or something, and I was like, I'll give it a go, sure.
I know.
But I was like not prepared for, getting in that close with everyone fighting all around me, and I'm the clumsiest person ever. I'm like, I'm going to drop this. Something's going to happen.
Wow, start of summer, I think it was.
Oh, yeah. It was so hot in there.
So hot.
It was like corrugated iron room.
It was a beautiful room, but if you don't know, or if you're not from the film industry, you can never have aircon running during the shoot because the aircon noise really fucks up sound. So you can never have air conditioning running. The lights that they use to light anything kick out 500 degrees Celsius worth of heat. And then you're wearing your costume. Anyone on camera is running around with this big fucking heavy camera. There's 100 people running back and forth in a room as well. Everyone's in there just sweating.
That was I think as well, because I'm pretty sure from memory a lot of that was like shoulder rig stuff, so I was kind of just running around with it. I think by the last day I was wearing like all sweat absorbing like active wear clothes. So it's like
just sponsored by Under Armour. This stuff fucking works.
Carrying a beach towel at all times.
We all lost like 10 pounds just of sweat in that thing. And it's so tough as well because by the end of the film we're all covered. Well, all the performers were covered in blood. Maybe some of the crew as well.
I think obviously you guys got the brunt of the blood.
Fake blood, I should say as well. But like as soon as
it didn't go that badly.
No, that was afterwards. That was the rap party. No, but like you start sweating and the blood starts to run, and then it's so sticky and it gets in your eyes, and it's just miserable. But they were a very fun shoot.
No, it really
disclaimer,
was.
It was a fun shoot.
Another disclaimer. Send $2.
There's going to be a lot of disclaimers. If you check the show notes after this, there's going to be a lot of written disclaimers, and we're going to put up the entire insurance form there as well for anyone that wants to check.
There's photo evidence available online.
Sure. Well, whatever you say. No, but we have come with some prepared stories, so I'll stop chit-chatting about all this stuff. And do we have any stories that we want to start off with? So I know you've listened to a couple of the past episodes, and I've been getting into kind of the more structured stories, as in I like to leave the quote-unquote worst story, the most embarrassing story, the most salacious story for the end. Okay. Do you have any kind of an idea of how you want to tell them, or any individual stories that particularly stick out as the worst story? Again, asking for the worst story is always a weird one to be left till the end, but the most embarrassing story for the end, just so we keep all these weirdos listening.
Possibly. I feel like I've got one that was that I still sort of, in the sometimes I wake up at 3, I'm sweating, I'm like, oh god.
Nice. That's what I'm after, man. I want you to relive it just now on the podcast again tonight at 3 a.m.
At 3 a.m. It's very important.
Again, when you listen to it, and then anyone that listens to this as well, I want them to be sitting there being like, fuck, I remember this happened. Something similar with me. This is all just like a big collective
cathartic, like everyone gets on board.
I'm really trying to make everyone's mental health worse. I'm gonna try and drag you all down to my level. But yes, sorry. Do we have one that we want to start off with at all?
I thought. So I was thinking of. I was trying to think of these the other day. One that actually came to me this morning that I remember that I thought was pretty funny, which was from my first year of uni. Was when I made an actor audition to be a corpse. Oh,
can I ask? Did the corpse have anything to do?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, so
you asked them to audition to be essentially what is it could be played by a doll.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So this short, this was at first uni. These were like, tiny little shorts we'd shoot in like a day or whatever. But, being first year uni and not knowing where you sit in the world, I came in being like, oh, this short's going to go to Cannes and it's going to blah, 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 blah.
And that's a great idea to come in with, I think. But anybody listening that's in first year of uni, you're probably not going to win.
Probably. You never know, but
you might, but you're probably not going to make the Oscar-winning film, short film for that year. Like, and again, absolutely try it, but
as one of your assessment exercises,
you know how it goes. You've got 5 minutes to edit and grade it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But it was definitely one of those things of just feeling like I could. That I really had to go for it, make sure everything was perfect, and a lot of it was like a sci-fi, and a lot of it
again
was
classic student short film.
Absolutely. It was sci-fi, and it was about like 3D printed weapons and stuff. So
fun.
So it was like like edgy and modern and finger on the pulse and blah blah blah. But a lot of it involved a character interacting with it's like a post-apocalyptic thing. They're interacting with a like a dead body they found. I don't really know how this came about.
Interacting how?
Oh, above board interacting.
Sorry. That wasn't my question. Weird that you jumped to that straight away, though, I have to say. Let's dig a little bit deeper. Can I get the name of this corpse as well, if I need to get in touch with them afterwards? No, sorry. It just more meant interacting as in, is a corpse actually have anything to do with
so
whatsoever?
That's the thing. The corpse is literally just there.
Wow.
And it's sort of meant to be, I think, that this character's so lonely that she's like, putting flowers in the hair of the corpse and being like, oh, this is my friend.
Oh my God.
And anyway, so that's all they were doing. And I decided to hold auditions to see if people could play dead.
How many auditions or auditionees did you get to audition for said corpse role?
I feel like it was a few.
No.
But there was definitely a few of them, but it was literally just they'd come into VCA, let us run sort of the auditions out of or they could hire all their rooms and stuff.
Yeah, and I'll jump in very quickly. So VCA is the Victorian College of the Arts, which is probably one of the top 3 arts unis in all of Australia, I would say. So it's like it's very well looked upon whenever you can get an audition for any of the students there as well, because a lot of them really do go on to making a lot of very good stuff. So having the name VCA behind you probably helped in some respect, I would imagine.
Play a dead body.
Yeah. And can I ask, was this cast on Star Now?
Perhaps.
Yes. Anyone that doesn't know, Star Now is this... it's a website, I suppose, but what would you call it?
Like I guess it's kind of like a directory of people,
freelance
talent.
Directory, yeah. So you can pick up jobs ranging from like you can actually get some pretty decent TV commercial stuff off there. You can find some pretty good director of photography work and directing work on there, or you can find unpaid corpse.
Yeah, you can come into a uni with a 19-year-old and pretend to be dead for 5 minutes.
Oh no, I feel so bad for this person. Or all these people. Imagine you didn't get it as well. What must you have felt if you're like, I'm not even good enough to get
we really enjoyed your work as the corpse, but we're just going with another direction. But that's what it was. They would come in and they would be sitting in the chair and we'd have a chat a bit and I'd be like, okay, let's see. And they just sort of be in the chair and then just kind of slump and stay still for a few minutes and I'd be like, yes.
A few minutes?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm like, I know a few minutes doesn't sound long in the grand scheme of things. Just if you're listening to this just now.
This is with silent.
Yeah. Pause the episode for, I don't know, 3 minutes.
And just see what that feels like, that atmosphere
in
the room.
Nothing. If you can have somebody sitting there staring at you as well, whilst you're trying not to breathe, that'd be perfect. But my God, that's a long time.
I know. And it's one of the most baffling things I look back on. I'm like, I have no idea why. I think at the time my lecturer was like, that seems like a very, silly waste of time to do this. And I was like,
even for yourself as well, yeah.
I was like, well, no, I don't want to be kicking around and all that sort of. It turns out it's not actually that hard.
No, just sitting still. I mean, it might be if you get somebody that's not into playing a corpse, which is fair enough. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I assume if they're signing up for it, they've got some, corpse love in there somewhere.
Some corpse love. So this wasn't all about
circling back. Yeah.
Oh dear. Tell me this person's name. No. But
actually, in the end, the one I ended up casting couldn't do it, so I just got someone to come who was like a last-minute replacement that I didn't audition because obviously I didn't have to.
How did they turn out then? Were they any good?
Oh yeah, they were great. They were fine.
Perfect. All right.
It's like I said. Also, this is for my crappy first year.
Did they even get to see a cut of it?
Oh, I think she might have actually dropped off the map a bit. That's right, because I think I still have her jacket.
Oh, so you made somebody come and play a corpse for you. You don't have to answer this, but was it unpaid?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Unpaid,
yeah,
and
unpaid,
you stole
absolutely.
this person's jacket.
Well, I attempted to return it to them, but they never responded to any more correndance.
That's fair enough.
So-
I probably wouldn't have either. I'd be like, I'm happy to burn this jacket as far as not getting back in touch with any of this stuff again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Far out. That's so funny.
It was just one of those things. I think you look back. I mean, I feel like obviously mistakes. Best way for you to get
Learn.
better
It's
and
just
all that.
unfortunate
and-
when you've got someone else to come along and pick.
I know, yeah. They have to be a part of my learning process.
It's like, it is funny though, because I think that's a learning process or a learning curve for them as well. So you're like, maybe I don't need to apply for every single star now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think I've ever played a corpse. But, oh, no, that's not true. But like, I've never played solely a corpse. I've been in a live character that has died.
Has it then been a corpse?
And then became a corpse. Yeah. If anyone's wondering, that's usually how it works in real life as well. You are alive and then become a corpse.
Yeah, it's good to double check.
Yeah, so just in case, I never know where anybody's coming into this podcast, what like walk of life they are from. So
Yeah,
just in case
yeah. Like,
3
do
days
we
old.
at some point die?
Yeah. God, existential.
Does death come for us all?
Existential. I talk for a living as well. There you go. But yeah, like, so in the stunt world, you're often a character that gets killed because you just are like one of those grunts, quote unquote, or like guards that just gets beaten up or shot.
Yeah.
And then you're lying there whilst everyone else has all the dialogue around you.
Is it hard to like stay? Because I feel like it's one of those things where you'd be really worried about making sure you are still. So maybe you're like twitching or like, is it actually
It's
difficult?
tough,
Yeah.
depending on how you die as well.
Oh, yeah.
This stunt coordinator from Victoria, Chris Weir, fantastic guy and stunt coordinator. He has a saying. He says, "Die hard and die comfy," because you want to make your death look as good or as gnarly as possible, depending on the scene. But then, like, if you died with your like face directly smashed into concrete, you might be like that for like days at a time.
You're like, oh, I've fallen into this 8-seater couch.
I
Like,
know.
that sort of thing,
I died and rolled all the way down a hill into a bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I took that on board as soon as he said it, and I was like, my God, this has saved me on a few jobs. I'll be honest with you.
No, that's great. Like, yeah, I can imagine you'd have some pretty gnarly positions to keep.
Yeah, it's so funny because you're like, it also depends on where you die. So like, it's always nicer to die in the woods or on grass or something like that rather than dying on concrete. You're like, oh, this is just cold and uncomfortable. Even if you do die comfy, like it's just freezing cold, especially in Victoria where everything's always cold.
Oh yeah,
for like
absolutely.
8 months of the year. But yeah,
Like,
sometimes
just another few hours lying face down, and then we'll be right with you.
I know, and then you're like, am I in shot? And they're like, I don't know.
We don't know
You
yet.
just stay down there, and you're like, okay. I mean, I'm getting paid for this, I suppose, but okay.
Yeah. Okay, but I might go like grab some food later. Like, you let me know.
I might just wiggle out a scene underneath.
Yeah.
And then it's like close up of the main characters. And I'm like, I wasn't even near the fucking camera.
Yeah, I know, you watch it
There's
back,
a
you're like,
cameraman
oh.
standing over the top of me. Of course I'm not in shot. But then, yeah, you don't want to rock the boat or whatever. But yeah, that's always, and anyone else that's wanting to be a corpse out there, yeah, die comfy.
Die comfy. No, that's actually very good advice. That makes a lot of sense.
You don't always get that option as well. I did extras work like years and years ago where I had to just I played a cop on something and I just had to put a blanket over a man who died very uncomfortably in the freezing cold at nighttime on cobblestones.
Oh, nice.
And, yeah, I was like, you poor man.
Yeah.
And then put the blanket over the top of him, and then it's essentially just like him under a blanket for the entire scene. And I'm like, oh, it could have just been a doll.
I know, yeah. Do we still need the exact same person?
I know, right? Because he played a character in it as well, which I'm sure he must have been like, oh, great work. And then you're like, oh.
You're like, oh, yeah, my scenes weren't as interesting today.
Yeah. And I've got chilblains from
Yeah.
lying on these cobblestones in the middle of the night.
I might have to lose a foot for frostbite, but these things happen.
But it's also nice to get the day player role, isn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit part, one more IMDb credit. I can't complain that much.
But I had so there was kind of a follow-up to that story.
Oh, what else have you been asking people to do in auditions?
So this isn't dead body related, but this was
I'll allow it. I'll allow it. It's okay.
Oh, fine. I was like, is this going to be okay? It's not about dead bodies. I was freaking out, but then no, that's good to know.
Alive bodies?
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's all right. That's fine. It's a nice segue into bodies.
Bodies in general. I'd like to spend the next hour really talking about bodies.
Let's get in depth with the actors' bodies.
Yeah. So I think, I can't remember if I mentioned, but yeah, the short involved like 3D printed guns, but
So this is, sorry to interrupt again.
Yeah.
This is the same shot, the same first year shot.
my first year
Cool,
little
nice.
exercise thing. The plot involved these like basically like rifles.
Okay.
And so two characters were carrying the rifles, and I I hired it from, I hired them from an armorer. They like weren't real. They're just the classic prop ones, which
Oh, yeah.
you have to get the permits for
Yep,
and all
yep.
that sort of thing. And then like we wrapped. So we wrapped the shoot, and then I was going to go visit my grandma like straight after, which is like a 4-hour drive.
Oh, wow.
Into like a sort of a rurally country town area, and then I was going on like a rural highway and hit a patch of gravel, and like spun out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and like went across like oncoming traffic, like other lanes.
Oh, shit.
And I got airborne.
Oh, my God.
Up on it, and like luckily landed right next to a tree, not into a tree. But I ended up landing in someone's random paddock, like in farmland, and and people kept stopping, and I think that it's like it's pretty rural area, so they kind of knew everyone or whatever. They're like, oh, that's Dave's, paddock, but he's away till blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. And then more and more people kept stopping. And then a police officer stopped and kind of started talking to me about it. And then he was like, oh, mate, what's this back here? And it was 2 rifles. And I was like, oh no, they're from a movie I made, like blah blah blah. And he's like, you got to have the permits for it. And I was like, oh no, I've got it. And then it's again out nowhere, so I was not having any internet reception. I was like going through my thing, and he's like, I might have to take you down to the station
shit!
to talk about this.
I mean, which is fair enough. If I found somebody spun out in a paddock with guns in the back of their car, I'd be like, no, it's for a movie, I promise. Yeah, I'd be like, yeah.
It probably didn't help that I was, I'd just literally been airborne in the car, so I was a bit like, oh yeah, no, these are my guns. Yeah.
Is this guy all right? Like, is he nervous because I've caught him with guns, or is he nervous
because of a car crash?
Flew through the air. Yeah.
But eventually I did find it. Like, I think I had to ring around a bit, and I was like, no, see, they're real, I promise.
Yeah. The permits, not the guns.
Yeah.
The guns are fake, I promise.
The guns are fake, the permit's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that ended up being fine. And then in the end, someone else came past and cable tied what was left of my car back together and was able to drive it into a repair shop. But I always thought that was the cherry on top of that shoot, that I nearly got arrested for having the guns with me.
I was going to say, that sounds like a proper hectic shoot, but it is nice to get those kind of shoots out of the way early on in your career, so you can be like, I understand what can happen now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I've used a gun in anything since then, maybe.
The Bleed Australia, we had a couple of little guns.
Oh yeah, but they weren't my permits, so if one of the others went to jail, that's their problem.
Yeah, I don't care about them.
Yeah, whatever.
It's funny because like, you want stuff to look as real as possible, but then obviously when you're not on a film set, they need to be transported somewhere. So you're like, well, I'm just carrying guns around with me now. I played a police officer in so many fucking things. I'm like typecast as a cop or a dad. They're my two main things. And I was standing just once, like next to an entire film crew, and I was there with a couple of other cops, like we're playing cops, and this guy pulled up to us once and he's like, hey, there's someone down on the high street like screaming and shouting, you guys should go and check it out. And I was like, I'm not real.
I'm not real?
Yeah. And the guy was like, what? And I was just so taken aback, like I wasn't expecting it at all. And I just got so like shocked. And then the first AD came over, he's like, oh mate, these are all actors, like they're not real cops. And I was like,
did you specify I'm not a real cop, or just I'm not real?
Okay.
Like, well,
I'm a ghost.
Like, I don't think I want help from you anymore.
Yeah, and then the guy got so annoyed and drove away, and I was like, but there's like film and cameras, and then I had to go into the scene, and I was so flustered. I did such a shit job.
Oh no.
Yeah, like I could hear the director complain about me afterwards.
Oh really?
Well, I was just like, I was so out of it, and I was like, I don't feel comfortable anymore. Like I'm just, oh fuck. And then I was like, I had to walk out like holding an evidence bag essentially. Like I did fuck all in the scene, but like I just walked out just staring at the evidence bag the entire time. And then
so self-aware.
Yeah, it's just like and then I like almost walked into one of the main characters, and I was like, this is just awful. All of this is awful.
And I feel like those sort of things, I feel like snowball all the time. And once, I fucked that up, and then it's like it just keeps going.
Yeah. And again, like if you're in front of the camera, everybody's watching you. Like so many eyes on you, and I just that was bad. I think now I'd just be like, fuck it. But back then, it was very early on in my career. I was like, oh god, everything's falling apart. I'll be blacklisted.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's the way it goes. Like no matter what you do, you're like, it took a bit long to respond to that question. I'm probably blacklisted for life.
No, right? That's the thing, isn't it? You're always so scared. And I mean, like, I don't know. You're behind the camera a lot more. Is there a blacklist? Do you have a blacklist? Have
No,
you written
not-
people's name down in a proper folder saying never work with them again?
Yeah, in my little black book.
Yeah, that you all share throughout the Melbourne and entire
Yeah.
Australia scene. Yeah.
Free postage if you buy. I feel like I keep offering discounts on fake things to buy today.
No, it's all good. Send us the money first, then we'll work out how we get it to
We'll
you.
work out what we're sending, what the
Yeah.
merch is. No, I don't think so,
No.
to be honest.
So yeah, I think anybody, unless you are a terrible person and you are like, oh, I'm going to get blacklisted because of all these horrible views that I hold.
Oh, yeah, like you can't
mean,
say anything anymore, like that sort of vibe. Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
you gone mad.
Yeah.
You're like, well, maybe don't do that. For
Yeah,
And, well, maybe you are blacklisted. But if you've just fucked up innocently and you're good about it,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think people ever remember it. Or if they do remember it, they're like, yeah, we're only human. And again, kind of like why I do this podcast, like we are all only human as well. We
Oh, that's the thing. And you're so worried about it. I mean, in a way, rightfully so. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I think that people forget that literally everyone there has done some sort of similar colossal fuck up.
Yeah,
So they're
oh,
like,
absolutely.
they understand if you're making like a huge, if you make some big mistake, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's annoying, but I know, I've done that before.
And some mistakes are bigger than others, and some do carry ramifications. Like if you do accidentally run someone over on set, I'd say like, people are probably going to remember that. But like if you
Yeah, I mean,
accidentally,
yeah.
knock over the craft service table at some point or something like that. you're
No,
like,
I'd probably
it's
remember
embarrassing.
that. That would be a big one for me. I get pretty
How
hungry.
fucking dare you? That is the highlight
Off
of
my
everybody's
set.
shooting day.
Yeah.
If you accidentally break the coffee machine as well,
Oh, that would be bad.
I don't have any power to blacklist you, but I would try and blacklist
Yeah, I would
you.
try to get a hashtag tag started or something.
Yeah, I just go around with a little book and just be like, "Hey, I'm so sorry to interrupt you guys. I know you're all trying to work on the lighting. Can you just sign this
Yeah.
to blacklist that person that broke the coffee machine? I'm sorry, I won't bother you again."
Oh, I actually did have a. I feel like that's a good lead in actually to one of my stories about.
Oh, beautiful! I definitely made that. And yes, yes.
About it was like one of the first sort of bigger sort of ad jobs I was doing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Again, you don't have to answer. Do you care to mention the ads?
No.
No, cool, beautiful. I respect that.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, message me afterwards. I can tell you what it is for a couple of dollars. But
Yeah. But it was this was sort of I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't like a massive budget, anything like
Yeah.
that. But at that point in my life, it was kind of like a bit of a next step.
it's not $12 that you're doing it as like a student film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was all centered around one comedian who's
Oh, cool.
fairly popular, who I hadn't met before. Again, yeah.
We'll
But,
dance around names.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
worry about it.
But it was the same thing. This was when I was in full swing of like, you do anything wrong, you're getting blacklisted. But we had the worst, like from bad to worse, like day of that.
Oh, no.
Where it was like, we had to shoot, I think we had to shoot like 8 little ads for
Shit.
I think it was mainly for socials, and like in similar
yeah.
locations, so it wasn't too bad. But
Just like little snippets, so nothing too hectic then.
yeah, it's sort of just like, each one's a couple minutes and involves like a couple, some talking and a couple props and blah blah blah.
Yeah, nice.
But it just like, she was such a great sport about it and so lovely. But it was one of those things where it started going badly, and then it just like got worse from there. So
And, again, you don't have to answer anything, but how so? In the respect of how did it start going badly? What happened?
Oh yeah, so it was just one of the. I was like, I'm going to be so prepared, like quadruple check all my gear, I've charged everything like all
Nice.
night, blah blah blah, and then we get there and because we had quite a tight turnaround time of trying to shoot all of these in the one day, and I think
Yeah.
it was also not even a full day because I think she may
far
have had a
out.
show or something. So we
Starting to piece together who this might be then. No,
Yeah.
I'm joking.
guess who? Yeah.
Ooh, send in your thoughts and questions.
But yeah, it was like, so we started and all my batteries just stopped working.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Like died, like out of charge,
Died.
or just completely stopped altogether?
Yeah, as if they were out of charge, which was very strange. So
Somebody's sabotaging
Yeah.
you. Okay.
my friend, I got my friend Jake, who's also a very good filmmaker, Jake Neville, and
Shout out to Jake.
Jake
By
Neville,
the
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
of things, then yeah.
we so that was, I was like, can you please like run down to the nearest place you can get camera batteries and get some? She's
shit.
like, okay, I'll do that. Sure. So we ran off, and then I was kind of sitting here with the talent and just being like,
So
Yeah. So, yeah, sorry about that. And then, after about an hour, he came back. And then I realized that the batteries weren't the issue. It was the connector into the camera wasn't reading the batteries.
oh shit.
So then we had to get the the power plug to be able to just run it from like mains power, basically.
So essentially something that you could have done straight away, but you didn't know that was what the problem was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, oh no, it must have just been something with the charger and blah, blah, blah.
Did you tell the comedian that, or were you just kind of like...
No, I was kind of feeling it, and I feel like it helped bridge the gaps between long periods of time where we weren't doing anything.
just long periods of time where you're sitting in silence?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so I'm
like,
we're wasting your time and our time. I'm so sorry.
But then... So we connected it to mains power, at which point I accidentally kicked over the tripod and the camera.
Oh, shit.
With like these hired cinema lenses and fell towards her, which she basically screamed.
Oh my God. So you're trying to kill this person then, essentially. Cool. Either through boredom or through actual physical harm.
Luckily I caught it, but it was just like another thing. And then the cherry on top was we finished the first ad. We're like, great, awesome. And
first of 8 ads, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we finished the first ad. We're like, great, that's cool. We moved on. We needed to reuse one of the cards. And I thought it was being backed up, but it actually was fully wiped.
Oh my God. So, and this is... I'm sweating. This is horrible.
It was nightmarish. It was like, this is the one I feel like I still, sometimes wake up and like, oh my God.
So for anyone that doesn't know, you record everything onto digital cards. Long gone are the days of recording into actual film. And these digital cards are usually given to like the data wrangler or whoever else is in charge of that on the set. And they copy everything like 3 or 4 times into separate hard drives. So nothing corrupts, nothing's lost, nothing's recorded over. And essentially, as soon as it's recorded over or wiped, it's gone forever.
Gone. And this was the first and only time that's ever happened to me. This point when I'm like, oh, I've got to do a really good job on this thing and messed up like everything.
Again, like it's horrible that happens. And like kicking over the camera is such a big nightmare as well. Like, I don't know how much the cinema lenses cost, but they are never cheap.
Yeah, no. It would have been a pretty extensive replacement fee.
So yeah, not only are you worried about all of that, and then you've just lost, well, presumably at least 4 hours.
Yeah, like
worth
4
of work.
hours, I think. Yeah.
Far out. And then you're wanting to work, presumably again with this person or at least this client again in the future.
Yeah. Like, sorry, but this is kind of crazy, but somehow we've actually deleted everything from. We were just so like she was so nice about it.
See,
like,
that's fantastic.
It was really great, but that was another one. I was like, oh. Fucking
those kind of things where like that I would have generally gone home and been like, I'm going to rethink my career now. I think I am obviously blacklisted. Like obviously that comedian is going to go back to their agent and like completely destroy me.
Like put the hit out.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to have to move to a country no one's ever heard of and work
off the grid.
Barista there.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was good about it. God, that could have gone so much worse.
No, she was
like,
lovely about it.
From the talent's perspective. Like
even then I still wake up in a cold sweat. I'm like, oh God.
Have you seen her since on any other jobs?
No, I haven't actually, no.
Have you sent her a little DM being like, I know this happened years ago, but I just want to say I'm so sorry.
I think I did after.
Oh, did you? Oh,
I'm pretty sure I did after it happened.
Did she reply?
She was very good about it. Yeah,
nice.
But it was just one of those things. I was like, oh.
It's funny, when it fucking rains, it fucking pours.
I know, yeah.
And then like that does not
that was
to
the
a
worst
healthy
example.
working environment as well, because you're so stressed and nobody is giving their best performance, especially if the talent's scared of getting attacked by a camera. God, none of that has made me feel good, that story, which is perfect. That's exactly what I'm after for this podcast. I want people to have anxiety and panic attacks listening to this, but I sat forward and I'm squirming around in my chair now. So
I feel like throughout all these stories I've accidentally just been revealing more and more ineptitude.
But again, this is everybody. Like, unless you're fucking Martin Scorsese, who I don't think
I'm sure
listens
he's kicked
to this
the camera
podcast.
into someone.
But like he's probably like now he's the one that's being like, these fucking imbeciles, blah blah blah. But you're like, you definitely have done that as well at some point. Marty, you don't get too big for your boots, mate.
Too cool for us.
Yeah, exactly, right? Please do call in. I'll more than happily have you on the podcast, though. Yeah. But like everybody does it. Like no matter what department you're in, no matter what level of your career you're in, everybody fucks up at some point, and it's embarrassing some days, and other days it's just funny. And some days you go home and maybe have a little cry in your pillow.
Oh
but
yeah,
you
absolutely.
get through it. That's important at the end of the day.
And I think at the end of the day, it gives you more empathy for other people who do
Fuck
that
up.
sort of thing
Yeah.
too. Yeah, like it's made me. I definitely feel like that's not a deal. If people fuck up on sets, I'm more like, well, these things happen. What can you do? I'm like, and everyone does it all the time.
Yeah. I am. This might sound like a horrible thing to say, and I'm not meaning it to, but every time something like that happens on set, I'm always like, this is horrible and I feel so bad for you, but I am so happy that wasn't me.
Oh yeah,
That is
yeah.
always how I feel whenever that happens on set now. Like,
You're like, God, I'm glad I wasn't holding that lens. Or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Like if somebody drops a lens, or if somebody's like, I didn't press record.
Oh,
So scary. Or if there's like, I was on a set recently and there was a really expensive prop and somebody broke it, and I was like, in the instant, I'm like, I feel so bad for you, and I like, this is horrible, but I just want to say I'm so happy that wasn't me. And I'm like saying that to them in the moment. I like that. I felt embarrassed about saying afterwards, but I was just like, that was my like visceral gut reaction.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so happy that wasn't me, but that's awful. I'm so sorry. Like
it's so conflicting. I feel like oh God, no. And then you kind of got that wash of being like, it's okay. I didn't do it.
I know, right? Is that like, was it Schadenfreude, or that I definitely fucking butchered whatever that German word is? Were you like happy somebody else is fucked up?
What was it?
Schadenfreude?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know how to say. I know what you
Anyone
mean.
that-
I don't know how to say it. Schadenfreude? No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even going to try.
Call in if you know what the actual word is. We'll be right back
Martin
after
Scorsese,
Miley
give a
Cyrus.
call.
Yeah. Yeah, Marty, give us a call. You probably know this. But yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about now. Trying to say words I don't know. But that story's really fucks me up. Thank you, genuinely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that one's pretty egregious.
Yeah, but that's not the worst story as well then, if we're going by the metric of leaving the worst one to last, is it? Am I correct in thinking
Oh
that?
shit, maybe I've messed this up. Maybe.
No, that's totally fine.
It might have just been I saw a segue and I took it.
Oh no, please, that's perfect as well. And honestly, if there's something worse than that, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this podcast.
No,
sitting
I
up.
think
might need to
that
lie
was
down.
the one I had thought would be the worst
Okay,
one.
good. We can relax into a nice story to bring us home
Yeah.
then. If you want to give us your last story, I'm going to take a second to relax into this one. Because far out, that was a bit much for my poor little body to take. Or are we thinking about whether we want to tell the story or not?
Yeah.
And again, we can edit it out. I'm not going to edit it out. We can edit this out if we need to, but I don't want you to put under any kind of stress or pressure.
It's kind of one of the only other ones that
That you have, yeah.
I mean, I might hit you up with the
editing
regretful
post.
thing later. Be like, no.
That's all right. I'll tell you what. If there's only two stories in this episode, then that's all you're getting.
Yeah.
Totally up to you though, if you want to tell this story. But this will be a nice edit point here if we don't.
Yeah. All right. So we'll give it a go.
Yeah.
So this was on a shoot I was directing a year ago. Yeah, about a year
Yeah,
ago.
it would have been now.
And it was kind. We hired a like a child actor to play the
You hired a child.
yeah, a child actor to play the
Child.
well, yeah, essentially,
Yeah,
yeah. To play the son of one of the characters
Yep.
or whatever. And he was great. He was so lovely. He was very sort of nervous when he first came in. And this,
Such a shame as well.
I know, yeah.
How old are we talking child-wise as well?
I think probably about 13 from
okay.
memory.
Oh, so an unbearably awkward age as is.
Exactly.
Well,
When everyone
yeah.
else is like, the closest to you is at least like 10 years off and that's
Yeah, I know, right? And like, I tried to start acting at that age as well, and just the level of self-consciousness that you have in your personal life, let alone on camera or around what you see as seasoned professionals as well, is fuck.
Oh,
terrifying.
you were acting at that age.
Yeah,
as well.
I did little acting school jobs and stuff like that, and a couple of little bits and bobs, but always just fucking terrified. And I'd be like, I've seen that person on telly.
Yeah.
Can I speak to them? Oh my god.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that allowed? Is
Yeah.
this part of the thing?
Do I have to sit here quietly?
Yeah. But
So this shy little bunny.
Yeah. He did such a good job and he was so great. I think it was one of those things where, because again, it was sketch comedy, and everyone's, I like to make sure everyone's having a good time on set, so people are cracking jokes, like things are flying around everywhere.
That's always a nice thing to have regardless of sketch comedy as well.
Yeah.
Like a relaxed and friendly set is always nice.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially during sketch, because you want people to come in with like offers and make a dick of themselves for the most part sometimes as well, so you don't want to be like chatting behind their back being like, can't believe that person just did that, what an ass.
Absolutely. I feel like to me that's one of them, like, if not the most important thing when I'm shooting comedy stuff. I'm like, if we're making something funny, I want the environment that we're doing it in to be fun, because like, I feel like it comes through more. And I also think that when everyone is, really, really getting on well, like having a laugh, all on the same page, you get a lot of like great extra ideas coming from people that I can then steal.
Oh, people definitely take credit for it. Absolutely. Written by, and then you're crossing out all the other stuff.
So it was a great crew. And I feel like as the day sort of went on, this kid was warming up more, like getting more into it, like getting more involved, like having fun, that sort of thing.
God, that is not heartbreaking, not heartwarming. That's the one I'm looking for.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great to see him sort of
I love to hear
more.
that.
Yeah. But
oh no!
So this was in between. As we're moving on to another shot, I think, and we're on a super tight schedule for this show. So it was kind of like we were shooting a couple of sketches like a day.
Yep.
Wow. It was pretty hardcore.
Hectic.
So like we're moving on from one to the next one, and so people are off doing their thing. Conversations kind of died down a little bit more, and this kid is like, I guess trying to make an edgy joke to sort of appeal to us or whatever, is like, oh, I just got a text from my mum asking how I'm going. Should I tell her I've been molested? And and everyone on the crew just went silent, and it was like, someone was like, no, don't do that.
Oh, that poor little kid.
And I feel like it was one of those things of being like, I can get down with like the adult humor and like racy humor and that sort of thing. And like, I really felt for him, but it was so funny. Just like, I feel like you could hear a pin drop, and then someone was like, definitely do not say that.
It's funny,
even as a joke. Do not say that,
because you're like that is a bit more edgy humor, but like funny from afar and removed, I suppose.
I think it's more just like the idea it's was so out of nowhere and inappropriate. It's kind of like, oh my god.
But like, if you're like, haha, yeah, go for it. But then if you actually said that as well, you'd be like,
no way.
No. That's no.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that's like, and I feel so bad for him as well. He was just trying to join in with the grown-ups. Oh,
I know. I think we moved on pretty quickly. I don't think he would I don't think he wasn't hanging his head in shame.
Yeah.
Like, let's all take 10 minutes to think about what he's done.
Just like, I'm so sorry, everyone. We're going to have to take a break.
Yeah.
If you just stay here,
You're
everyone
like,
else
I don't
just
feel
have a
comfortable
meeting in
working.
there. Can we recast him now? Right now, please. I'll message his mother to tell her to come and pick him up. But
yeah. Oh. I'm taking over messaging now.
Having being that like a kid, not specifically like saying something like that, but like when you're around adults, especially on film sets where everyone's like, cool, even if they're not cool in real life. Like when you're a kid, like, wow, all of these people work in like TV and film, and that's what I want to do. So I'm going to try and be cool. And like
I'm grown up and like blah blah blah.
And that sketch show as well was, I don't want to say edgy, but like a little bit more adult themed in some of the stuff that you did on it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I can understand why that kid would be like, I'm going to make an adult joke.
Yeah, and then just kind of missing
the mark. Yeah. Like at 13 as well, you're like, far out, man. I don't know what's funny, what's not funny.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to like say without embarrassing myself to like my friends, let alone all these like quote unquote cool people. Not this is saying that you're not cool, obviously, Liam. Sorry.
I think that's a reasonable assessment.
No, I think the audience can decide that for themselves after this episode.
That's true. Leave a comment. We're getting so much user interaction on this episode.
DM Liam. We'll give out his Instagram after this. DM him if you think he's cool or not.
Yeah, and then I'll dox myself depending on your answer.
Just comment on this episode, cool or not cool. You don't have to give any context as well. Yeah, just cool or not cool. Be perfect.
No, but this kid was great. He did such a good job, and I feel like he's a good sport the whole time. It's totally I think a big part of why it's funny is because it's so relatable. Like you can imagine the circumstance of being like, oh, got to impress the adults with my edgy humor, and then it's been like, oh, maybe dial it back a little bit.
I did play when I was 17, and I was such a fucking awkward teenager. Like, I was so awkward. And I was also at the point of being like, I got the old Asperger's syndrome, or wherever it's called, or I don't even know if Asperger's is real anymore, if it's all just autism. But I didn't really know how to deal with that as a teenager at all. And I was in a play with all these adults, and I was like, I'm going to try and be cool, and like try and be cool exactly like what this kid was doing as well. And like one of the guys was like, oh, so you're learning to drive just now? And I was like, I'm going to make this cool joke, and I was like, yeah, and I just stumbled all over everything, but I went full force into it, and I was like, I'm learning and then I stopped myself and then said it again.
Like, you having an attack of some kind? Are you okay?
And then I was like, yeah, I'm learning to drive.
Medic.
I was in the dressing room with everyone else as well, and then it was just...
Wait, sorry, what did you say?
Cool.
Actually, what was the...
No, so I was just going to like...
Did you give a punchline? Or
no,
was
my original thought of trying to do a punchline was, I grew up in a tiny little village, so I'd come into the city to do this play, and I would be like, no, we haven't got cars here yet.
Okay, yeah.
I'm learning to drive a horse and carriage, essentially. Was what the idea of the joke was going to be. But all I ended up going was, and then I just went, yeah, I'm learning to drive. And that's where the conversation finished in front of everyone. It's just like, it's those kind of things where you try and make such a big thing when you're so young as well. And you're like, oh, far out, man. It's so awkward.
I mean, that's pretty good. I do that now. Like,
me too.
Semi-regularly.
But now I know how to like get out of it, being like, hey, even earlier in the podcast, being like, hey, I can't talk properly.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to abandon this joke now because it's not going anywhere.
Kids, you're just like, I'd hold my breath and be like,
have to
no,
push through.
I don't know what to say. Adults are looking at me. They're all adults that are in a play, and I'm trying to be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, far out. I feel so bad.
My observational humor about country towns isn't coming through properly.
Fuck, my stand-up life's dead in the water before it even started. Damn it.
Which country town are you from? Like, which area?
I dox myself now, am I?
Yeah.
From
what was your address and the coordinates of the address?
I can give you my address. Nobody lives there that I know anymore. You can turn up there. No, it was a little tiny little village called Gifford in Scotland.
Oh, nice.
We had a post office, which was the part of the back of somebody's house, and 2 pubs.
Wow, yeah. So proper like small town vibe.
Proper small town vibes, yeah. Where you had to get a bus into the... so it wasn't even a small town, it was a village. So you had to get a bus to the town to get a bus to the city.
Wow.
So that fucking sucked.
Yeah. Yeah. I grew up in a country town as well. A bit bigger than that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I feel like especially as a teenager, you're like, oh, I guess I can go into the city and that'll take me 3 hours or whatever.
Yeah, but then you go to the city and you're like, wow, everyone's so like cool here. This is like cool city people. And then you meet kids that grew up in a city and you're like, oh, you live in the city?
You've lived here the whole time?
Yeah, and you're like you can just go to the cinema or like McDonald's whenever you want. That's fucking mental.
Introduce me to Melbourne Central.
I know. Yeah. You can hang out at a mall?
Yeah.
Wow, I have to take a bus to go to the nearest shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I have to take a bus to go to the equivalent of Woolies. Like,
was that true? That you'd have to take the bus to get there? That's
yeah, it's very sad. So I'd had to take the bus to go to Tesco's. So Tesco's, if you're listening, if you want to sponsor this podcast, I used to work for you, so I'm more than happy to take money off you again. But
that's just like the equivalent, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
the equivalent of Woolies or Coles in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
So that was the highlight of me going anywhere. It was like, I can go to Tesco's.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'll take the 5-day trip into Tesco.
Yeah, I'll buy my new... I always used to go up there and buy new CDs when they were released as well. So I'll be like, it's out on Friday, but sometimes they'd put them on the shelves on Thursday night.
Oh, nice. So a bit of late night.
Yeah,
bit of a late
go
night
up there,
run.
go up there like 8 p.m. and then the final bus back home was 9 p.m. So I'd go up, get my CD, and then come back home by 9 p.m.
So you had to know what CD you wanted in advance.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
but I was all across that. I was a proper little music. This is just embarrassing stories from my past. Nothing to do with arts and entertainment anymore now.
Well, I feel like I used to do the same thing of trying to the small town thing, trying to make joke. I feel like I would always just come back to where I lived. We had a fish truck.
What?
Which I've learned since talking to people who like aren't from that area that it's not as common as I thought it was. But I'm like, oh, you know that thing where like you can't get fish until the truck with all the fish comes like once every
what?
And people are like, what is that a thing?
Like fish truck as in like an ice cream truck, but they sell fish.
Yeah, basically.
That what?
Well, it wasn't like a, you know, they didn't have like a bell like ringing down the street.
All the
and,
kids
like,
running down.
all the kids are like, oh, cod.
Yeah, finally our cod for the week.
Yum yum. But yeah, it was like you didn't really get fish until the fish truck came.
Wow, that is bizarre.
Yeah, so that was my little bit of rural humor that I bring up because people were always like baffled by it.
No, I'm baffled by that.
Yeah.
Well, that's genuinely
And your
very
town was
bizarre.
smaller than mine. You didn't have a
Exactly.
fish truck?
But everyone in Scotland's close to the sea. Were you quite inland?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. Those poor cod have to make the 3-day trip
Yeah.
into the rural parts of
In the midst of
Australia.
Whippy fish van.
Yeah. See, we had ice cream truck wars. So Scotland, if you don't know what this is, Scotland, or Glasgow, I should say, had drug dealers that used to just have ice cream vans, and they had wars selling drugs out of ice cream vans.
Wow.
Yeah. But we had the ice cream van wars, and you had the fish truck.
There could have been wars within the fish truck.
The fish truck community.
Yeah.
Being like, you're undercutting me on the price of salmon, you motherfucker.
I'll
Running
take
at each other.
everything you got.
Yeah, pushing each other off the roads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family's in danger. All that sort of stuff. Classic mobster.
Yeah. So if you're working for a fish truck out there and you're listening to this, call in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speak to us.
Colin, we've got 85 calls waiting at the moment from the last hour.
I'll give out Liam's phone number at the end of this if you want to give him a call. But I think that might be us for the end of it as well, mate. That was, that was
awesome.
great. I am genuinely sweating from one of those stories.
I know.
I'll be honest, the last two stories, or maybe the last one, depending if we edit that out or not, but those stories were hectic, and I fucking love it.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm glad. It's always hard to think. I'm like, what's going to make something interesting to tell?
It's funny sometimes as well, because some people come in with like, none of my stories are any good, and they tell me them, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That was fantastic. And then some people come in and like, I've got 10 stories, and then you hear them and you're like, maybe we'll go for 2 of them.
Yes.
No, I'm joking. For most any past guests listening, that's not been the case for the vast
It's a
majority
horrible,
of them.
horrible lie.
There's one of you though, and you know who
Yeah.
you are. No. Swiftly moving on.
The unreleased episode.
Yeah, the one that's been canned.
Yeah.
Again, message me a couple of dollars. We can talk. But yes, where can people find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram as Liam Internet Prince, all one word.
The actual prince of the internet as well. Genuinely quite impressive
Yeah,
to get
well,
you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the
that's
time
so
out.
fine. There was a coronation. It was in the fish truck. It was the whole thing. Everyone from town came. The Internet
that's
Prince
beautiful.
of my hometown.
Yeah. You just rode around in the fish truck for a little while.
Yeah. On top,
Sure,
like
yeah.
with a scepter.
An anchovy per servant or subject, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's beautiful, man. It's nice to see you're still in touch with the yobbos.
Yeah, my local community, my people.
Yeah, your servants.
That's kind of I feel like Instagram on there. I've got my website, which I really need to update soon, which is liamfitzgibbon.com.
Possibly updated before this episode's released.
Very
as well.
likely.
Yeah, all of this will be linked in the show notes as well for anyone that has forgotten it in this past 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And yeah, I think something. Check out. Yeah, we did a show, Hot Department Dark Web, which I made with my good friends Patrick Dernan Silva and Honor Wolf, and they are so funny. And
Genuinely incredibly funny series. So you can find that on Grouse House TV, is that right? On YouTube?
yeah, that's right. It's
Yeah.
on the Grouse House channel at the moment.
Yeah, so like genuinely bizarre humor, but all the right kind of bizarre humor. Honestly, I really enjoyed that show.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
No, it was great. And again, Hot Department are very funny as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And you've worked with them a fair whack as well. Do you have a YouTube channel for them? Because you've directed a fair bit of their stuff before.
Yeah, so there's also just the Hot Department YouTube channel and Instagram page as well.
Yeah, perfect. Check them out.
So
'cause you
there's-
have some
It's 50
again,
links to go on.
Yeah, just go everything that's blue highlighted below the show notes. Just click on all
Yeah,
that,
give it a
you'll
click,
find
see
it.
what happens.
Yeah, but again, like you put up fairly regular stuff on there. Just some of the
Trying
most
to, yeah,
bizarre stuff as well. Like proper out of left field, but fucking funny.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I feel like we're all very. I think we're all kind of united by our interest in seeing how much you can push comedy into like surreal horror.
Yeah, there's some points where I'm watching this and I'm like, I just had a mental break.
Yeah.
Is it Stepmom Blues? Is that? one
Yeah,
you're-
yeah.
I was watching one of those and I was like, I don't know what's going on here anymore. I think that was near like lockdown time as well, so I probably
yeah.
wasn't in the best state of mind anyway. But I was just sitting there being like,
Oh, well,
I don't know what's just happened.
I don't think we were either, which is what.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. That would be
The,
reflective in the art in that case then.
Well, the whole story with that was that it was just a like an hour of improv that we recorded
Was
for
it?
Patent Honors.
Yeah.
For their live show. And we're like,
awesome.
we'll just do a thing, you know, where we pretend to be like bad porno acting. And I just recorded them doing improv for like an hour. And then, of course, with COVID, everything got shut down. And they were like, hey, can we make that into a web series?
Yes.
Like, sure. But then because it's lockdown, I feel like I got so into like the lore of it and being like, oh yeah, and then the big series arc here and like all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
From not knowing that, it pieced together remarkably well.
I feel like I'm very lucky that the three of us work very, very well together. I think like
Yeah.
always on a similar page with that. So
Yeah, awesome.
but yeah, that was spawned out of just like the most random,
Out of absolute madness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
complete chaos. But yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of lockdown was so.
Yeah, and like I made some stuff in lockdown, which I'm not going to share now that we're out of lockdown. So yeah, well done for making something that's actually watchable.
Oh no,
in
I did a
lockdown.
fair bit of unwatchable lockdown stuff as well.
Oh, yeah,
and that
everyone
stays,
did.
yeah.
That's
away.
best left in 2020 and 2021,
Yeah,
I think.
exactly, yeah.
I don't want to watch any more fucking people on Zoom shared screens pretending to.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was the big thing.
it's bringing me back. No. Sorry, I'm going to end this on a high, though. Check out, Hot Department, Grouse House TV as well. Check out Liam on all the socials. I'll link everything there as well. And then the same as every week, you can check out Won't Be Forgetting That Pod on most of the socials too. We do have a YouTube channel as well, where it's mostly just the episodes as well. Said as well too many times there. You can find myself, Seb Muirhead, Muirhead, on Instagram and YouTube. If you do want to go over to my YouTube, I've got a couple of newer fight scenes up there, as well as one of me getting set on fire. So if you want to go check that out. And if you did enjoy the podcast, please do rate and review it 5 stars. And look, just give it a little subscribe. Hey, you can just leave it playing in the background for all the upcoming episodes. It does help. And there are a couple of little links in the show notes as well after you've clicked through Liam's 1 million different links. But there's a couple of little links down there that do genuinely help support the show as well, which if you can afford, that'd be absolutely
Decide
fantastic.
an afternoon, click all the links.
Yeah. If you've got a spare lockdown as well,
Yeah.
click all the links. But yeah, thank you once again, Liam.
Oh no, thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks.